Here's the recap, folks. Tsuyoshi, once a broke-ass trash collector, bullied at school alongside his disabled sister, parentless, hopeless, suddenly gets yoinked into another world and crowned a chosen one. Cool, right? Except there's a catch: either he plays along and rules this world, or they straight up kill him. No middle ground. Oh, and if this voice feels too fast, nah, it's you who's just too damn slow. Catch up. So the story kicks off with our unlucky protagonist, a young guy who's currently tied up by some beast monsters. They're talking about giving him a divine punishment because apparently, he trespassed on their ultra-secret land that's been sealed off from humans for like 1,000 years. First time a human's ever wandered in, and they're ready to fry him like a chicken. Our guy, completely confused. One second he was in a cave, the next he's in beast hell. Flashback to 5 hours ago, Tsuyoshi, our very average protagonist, is chilling outside a cave eating noodles, getting yelled at by his boss because they've got to clean up a C-rank cave. Tsuyoshi wonders why there are so many people at a basic dungeon. Right then, someone yells that the heroes are about to exit. Everyone freaks out and lines up like it's idle meet and greet day. The heroes strut out like it's nothing, chatting about easy rewards while the cleaners, aka trash collectors like Tsuyoshi, look on with starry eyes and crushed dreams. Turns out they all failed their awakening tests, so becoming a hero is off the table forever. Tsuyoshi introduces himself, just a humble trash collector. Heroes beat the monsters and then guys like him clean up the mess. He also failed the awakening test because his body's got the magical power of a potato. Still, deep down he wanted to be a hero too. They've got 4 hours to scavenge whatever loot is left behind. Tsuyoshi finally finds a small piece of a shield and feels like maybe his dead parents are cheering him on from above. He's told they'll regroup in 3.5 hours, so he kicks his motivation into overdrive. But after 30 minutes, still nothing. Just that lonely shield scrap. And time's ticking. He needs money for his sister's medical bills. While scrambling for loot, he spots a mysterious well. And like any good protagonist, he jumps in without a second thought. Inside, a dead body in a ring. Jackpot. It looks rare, probably worth a good amount. So naturally, he slips it on and boom, pain. Spikes shoot out of the ring and stab into his finger. No chill. Suddenly a system window pops up. The boundless ring now recognizes him as its master, can't be removed, and oh surprise, a boundless passage is about to open. Tsuyoshi's like, what the hell? And before anyone can say Isekai, he gets zapped into another world. He screams for help, and his teammates hear him, feeling bad that a kid like him has to deal with this mess. Too late though. He wakes up tied to an altar in Beast People land, about to be zapped by divine lightning for the crime of being human in their sacred zone. And he still doesn't know what the hell is going on. The Beast folk are holding an execution for 3 criminals. First up, one of their own, who sold secret info to the hated elves and humans. Boom, divine lightning fries him on the altar, no mercy. Next up, our poor guy Tsuyoshi, and yes, he's literally naked. Bro didn't even get time to be cool before being humiliated. He tries to plead for his life, saying his sister's still in the hospital waiting for him. But let's be real, it's not like the Beast folk are gonna be like, oh, your sister. Never mind then, go home king. Now, he's dragged onto the altar for his divine punishment, and lightning's ready to blast his ass. First strike, misses. Everyone's stunned, not because he dodged it like a boss, but because it's not supposed to miss. He even stands up pretending he just awakened an aura or something. Second strike. Yeah, it connects. They assume he's toast. But then, plot twist, his boundless rin, remember that cursed thing, activates and starts some divine selection system. A system window pops up, saying it's rebuilding his body with the ultimate physique. Meanwhile, lightning keeps hammering him over and over like it's glitching out. People are shook, this man just won't die. The ring shows progress 15%, 40%, and Tsuyoshi suddenly starts walking, straight toward the source of the lightning. Turns out, it's coming from a divine hammer. And now the Beast King suspects the unthinkable. Tsuyoshi might be trying to lift the Divine King's hammer. After Tsuyoshi's ultra body upgrade hit 100%, he casually raised his hand and, boom, the divine hammer flew to him like Thor mode unlock. Everyone lost their furry little minds. Even the Beast King couldn't lift that thing, and here's this random naked human just casually holding it. The general in charge of executing him. Straight up malfunctioning. As Tsuyoshi scrolled through his new system features like a dude testing cheat codes, the general tried to flex, telling him to return the hammer and accept death nicely. But Tsuyoshi had just unlocked an inspection skill and decided to peek at the general's stats. Dude was level 84. Our guy blinked, probably whispered, nah, and kept doing his thing. The general snapped. After all, a level 3 human just ghosted him. He launched an attack, grabbing Tsuyoshi mid-air to finish him off with Earthquake Shaker. But then, system notification time, Tsuyoshi's absolute replication skill activated. He could steal one move by touching the opponent's heart. Bro aimed for the chest but ended up awkwardly pressing a button, like he was playing a game of boob bingo. Still, he picked the coolest sounding move. Heaven Shaker, perfect for his shiny new hammer. As the general used the move, Tsuyoshi copied it back. Epic moment. But no damage. Nada. Because he's still level 3 with no profession, and apparently hits like a mildly annoyed cat. Ryuga's the general was about to flatten him out of sheer embarrassment, but then the Beast King stepped in. Whole battlefield went silent. Then the king knelt. Yeah, seriously? In front of Tsuyoshi, said he'd been chosen by the divine hammer, fulfilling some ancient prophecy. The beastmen were shook. Some were like, he's human bro. But even they had to admit the signs were there. The Beast King asked Tsuyoshi his name, then made an offer: prove yourself, return in a year, and help lead us. But there's a catch: if he doesn't come back stronger. That mental mark they slapped on him means the king's coming for his soul, no matter where he hides. So yeah, from confused human sacrifice to potential beastfolk messiah, Tsuyoshi's now on a 1-year side quest with a death timer. Tsuyoshi thinks over the Beast King's offer: survive, get stronger, and maybe lead some beast people, but all he really wants is to get back to his world and Karina. So yeah, he accepts. But before leaving, he notices the Beastman girl, next in line for execution, and scans her. Level 72. Dagger user. Absolute unit. He's like, why is this cracked warrior labeled a criminal? so he throws in a condition she's coming with him. Says she might be useful, like a total sundeer. She's shocked but goes along with it. Now they're outside under the glowy Annie moon, and Tsuyoshi brooding about the boundless ring again. Cursed bling that won't come off but gave him powers. He's mainly focused on getting back home though. Then the girl hits him with a master. Yeah, full on beast ear girl calling him that. He's flustered but secretly loving it. He tries to brush it off like, let's just support each other, alright? But she gets all emotional, thanking him for saving her and begging to keep calling him master. Tsuyoshi's internal monologue is short-circuiting. He agrees awkwardly, and they walk off into the night. Then bam, system message, boundless passage is ready. Cooldown's 24 hours. It's the same path that brought him here, and he figures using it again will send him home. He activates it, gets sucked into the dimensional blender, and leaves her behind. Bro. Back in the seat rank cave, he checks if he's still jacked. Powers intact, level still 3. No profession, no copied skills or IP Heaven Shaker. But Divine Hammer safe in his Divine Consciousness inventory, which is apparently the secret to cross-world item travel. Handy then the weird part. Time hadn't moved at all. He's still in the well. The captain and his mates arrived asking why he's been standing there the whole time, urging him to wrap it up before the cave closes. Tsuyoshi's brain blue screens. He spent hours in Beast World, but here, 0 minutes. Time was frozen. Man straight up realizes he's living a manhwa. Spoiler he is. As he leaves the cave with his buddies, he casually asks if the next awakening test is tomorrow. Oh yeah. He's planning to take it again, this time with cheat codes. Flashback time, and it's brutal. Rain pours down, buildings collapse, explosions everywhere. Tsuyoshi's bleeding out, barely holding on, carrying his little sister Karina through the madness. She's covered in blood, can't feel her legs, and asks about their parents. Tsuyoshi screams for them, but it's too late. Their uncle, Nakazato, appears yelling at him to run. The darkness is coming, and if he turns back, they're all dead. He begs Tsuyoshi to just get Karina to the hospital. And that nightmare happened a few years ago. Cut to the present hospital room. Karina's in a wheelchair now, and Tsuyoshi asks if she's okay. She lies, says she's fine. The truth is she's not, and Tsuyoshi knows. Using his divine eye, he checks her medical stats, 99% nerve cell damage, nearly no chance of natural recovery. She's living with constant pain. He remembers the life she deserved, school, friends, fun, all stolen. And he swears even with a 1% chance he'll find a way to make her walk again. Maybe becoming a hero is the key. So Tsuyoshi marches to the awakening test site. Fueled by that promise, he sees a guy with level 3 and 540 CP getting praised. Then it's his turn. The examiner's like, oh great, another stubborn retake. Tsuyoshi stays calm, places his hand on the machine. But this time, he activates his ultimate physique, red energy erupts, his muscles bulk up, and the machine starts freaking out. Then boom, combat power 5400. Everyone loses it. That's 10 times stronger than the last guy. Even Tsuyoshi's shocked. He expected strong, not break the test, level. He tries to use his Divine King's Hammer, skill, but gets a system warning too weak, you get 1 second of power. He's like, bet, that's all I need. He activates it. The city literally shakes. Everyone thinks it's an earthquake. The machine overloads, blackout hits, and the entire test is suspended. People evacuate. Tsuyoshi, drained dry. Like you would be if you had a goth girlfriend who called you pathetic, but still held your hand. But Tsuyoshi, he's grinning like an idiot, because now he knows, he's officially a hero. And this was just the warm-up. The next day, Tsuyoshi meets Gaia, a serious level 9 warrior with 200 combat power, who's in charge of training the rookie heroes. Gaia makes it clear, no baby steps here. They're diving straight into a D-rank dungeon tomorrow. No warm-ups, no occupation picking, just vibes and violence. The recruits are stunned, but Gaia brushes them off with a, my way or leave, attitude. Tsuyoshi sees through him though. Dude's just venting frustration. Even heroes have bad moods. Later at his apartment, Tsuyoshi isn't phased. He's more hyped to see his beast girl again once the boundless passage cooldown ends. A news report casually mentions the massive earthquake he caused yesterday, but no one suspects a thing. When the cooldown's up, Tsuyoshi warps back to the other world, clothes magically restored like an RPG auto-save. Beast girl greets him concerned. He almost jokes about her, figure, but instead asks to go grind some levels. She's all in. First target, a goblin nest. She warns that goblins are tricky, lewd, and many. Tsuyoshi jokes that she should be careful if they're lecherous. She blushes obviously. Man's already got the banter down. She leads him to the goblins, reminding him to stay flexes his divine eye. Says he knows her level 72 with 30,000 combat power. When she asks how, he just drops a smooth, I'm your master, remember. She wants to see him fight, but since he's way below her level, she wouldn't get XP if he helped. Still, he gives her a short demo. She pulls off an insane Einstein step slash and deletes a big goblin instantly. Tsuyoshi's like, okay, wow, and asks to learn it. She tells him he's not even ready. He hasn't chosen an occupation yet. So boom, he chooses warrior on the spot. His stats level 3 warrior, 540 combat power. Beast girl melts. Super happy he picked warrior because of her. Tsuyoshi Loki touch is ready to start grinding. Suddenly more goblins show up yelling about intruders. Tsuyoshi scans them, same level, 420 CP, perfect. He borrows her silver dagger, calls them guinea pigs, and finally tests Heaven Shaker. 1 golden blast later, the goblins are dust. Beast girl is shocked. That attack would normally need a team of 6. But Tsuyoshi's just grinning, ready to mop up the rest and hit level 4 by bedtime. The beast girl apologizes to him, blaming herself for not preparing for this sooner, like weapons and defense. But now they're already surrounded by goblins, Tsuyoshi holding a wooden stick. A system screen reveals he's level 3, a warrior, with the very elite skill which is none. He's got no armor, no decent weapon, and the goblins are closing in. He suddenly remembers the Divinous Inventory, a shop that lets him use points earned from special kills to buy divine items. Sadly, the only useful thing available right now is his divine hammer safe. He's low-key annoyed but realizes this system might actually be trainable over time. Just, not yet. And like an average male, he turns around, takes a moment to notice everything about the beast girl. Labels pointing out her head, arms, etc. confirm it. And yep, he's blushing. He wonders if there are other races too, like furry and stuff. She's like, focus, master, and he tries to pretend he wasn't admiring her skin. Suddenly, the beast girl warns him, behind you. Goblins rush in, and she wipes the floor with them effortlessly. Tsuyoshi impressed but stubborn. Despite her warnings, he charges in screaming, you reckless fool. Eyes glowing red, he swings his stick and actually lands a massive blow, causing a literal money explosion. Bro's awakening mid-battle. Turns out the goblins were high level enough to net him fat EXP. Beast Girl is amazed seeing him shot 2 goblins with a stick, and as more goblins flood in, Tsuyoshi's raw power just keeps wrecking everything. She stands back cheering for him, full support girlfriend mode unlocked. While smashing another goblin, Tsuyoshi reflects on how wild this world is compared to his old life. Back then, working as a dungeon janitor, leveling up was slow torture. You had to beg to get into dungeons, share EXP with party members, and the hero guild hoarded all the good stuff. But here, he fights solo, keeps all the EXP, and monsters actually reward him. He checks his stats. He's already close to another level up. At this rate, he's not just surviving, he's storming straight to the dungeon boss. Just as things seem calm, Tsuyoshi and the beast girl spot something lurking ahead, a creepy goblin boss radiating dark energy. Something's off. She gasps, it's been possessed by darkness, a deadly curse that supercharges enemies. That one word hits Tsuyoshi like a truck. Kun hits a fat-ass main character. Darkness, the same force that ruined his life back in his original world. The one that killed his parents. Is it the same entity spanning across dimensions? The beast girl explains that even a level 6 goblin boss is bad news, but once the darkness takes over, it's a whole other beast. No one fully understands what it is. But Tsuyoshi doesn't care. This is personal. That cursed force destroyed everything, and now he swears to destroy it. Fueled by rage, he charges at the corrupted goblin boss. Every punch is vengeance. Every hit screams you ruined Karina's life. The fight is brutal. He gets hurt, takes real damage and badly. The monster's grotesque tongue nearly kills him, but the beast girl saves him. Flat on the ground, bruised and bleeding, Tsuyoshi stares death in the face and mentally roars, he'd rather die than ever admit defeat. Then boom, yellow light explodes in his eyes. Ultimate physique activation complete pops up like a battle cry. His muscles swell, his body glows and he decides no weapon. Fine, I'll use my damn body. With raw fury he unleashes a devastating attack, perishing the goblin boss. The beast girl gets caught in the shockwave, screaming as she's blown back. Yeah, it was that powerful. When the dust settles, Tsuyoshi stands tall, wrecked but victorious. The system flashes level up, he's now a full-fledged warrior, gained 1000x. From wooden stick to god tier baby. With fire in his eyes, he makes a new vow. I will kill all the darkness. But right now Tsuyoshi's a mess, clutching his arm in serious pain, while the system bluntly warns him his right hand's on the verge of necrosis. He totally overdid it, pouring all his power into that one limb. And the system's like, yep, dumb move bro. But lucky for him, the beast girl, sweet, worried, and surprisingly competent, is right there with medicine. And no, those boobas isn't medicine, she has first aid. About an hour later, she's patched him up like a pro. The meds work slower than the ones from his old world, but man, the effects are strong. He's not just healed, he feels stronger than before. Ancient fantasy world herbs hit differently. She excitedly reminds him about the boss fight rewards, and the system chimes in, confirming that their speed earned them an upgraded set reward. They find a shimmering darkness treasure chest, which he says is insanely rare, like auction house level rare. He opens it and boom, he gets the dark goblin set. He's hyped then panics. Only one inventory slot left. Does the set count as one item? He takes the risk, says yes, and it works. The whole thing slides into his inventory like magic. The beast girl notices his goofy smile and asks what's up. He tells her about the reward, then asks if she can sew. She lights up. She's been sewing her own clothes since forever and even has a kit with her. King behavior. Not long after, she hands him a newly modified piece of gear. It's high quality work. He's floored. With new gear, new power, and Beast Girl's help, it's time to rest. The scene changes and he's back on Earth. After finding a place to stay, Tsuyoshi waited for her to fall asleep then came back. Tsuyoshi finally lays down, thinking about the day. He knows he can't stay in this world forever, but tomorrow, he's hitting a new cave. Morning arrives. System prompt. Do you want to equip the Dark Goblin set? Tsuyoshi taps on yes. System special skill activated. Rawain Tentulus. Screams that paralyze weak enemies plus a phantom tentacle hand that wrecks foes. Tsuyoshi, absolutely losing his mind with joy. This outfit's not just cool, it screams power. Tsuyoshi's all excited about his new Dark Goblin gear, until reality hits. If other heroes see him flexing this kind of high-tier equipment, they'll definitely come for his neck. Thankfully the system has his back with an equipment effect conceal. He clicks, Wes, and boom, his god-tier armor now looks like casual clothes. Perfect. He checks the time, decides to grab some bread before a meeting, when suddenly, the phone rings weird. On the line is a panicked nurse, asking if he's Karina's brother. She urgently says, scary people are at the hospital, trying to take Karina because of unpaid debt. Tsuyoshi is furious. He knows he's been making weekly payments on time. As he yells for them not to touch her, the call cuts. His phone's been taken. His eyes flare red, full rage mode unlocked. A quick status check shows level 4 warrior, Dark Goblin set equipped. Heaven Shaker, skill ready no weapon, but fury fully loaded. Cut to the hospital. Karina's terrified, begging the thugs to wait for her brother. The ringleader, all smug in a suit, tells her this was always the plan. Her brother got scammed. The payments barely touch the interest. He admits the loan was a setup because a young boss wanted Karina, saying she'll sell well on the black market. He grabs her, whispering that it's just business. But before things get worse, boom, a powerful shockwave erupts, the door slammed open. Everyone freezes. It was Soyoshi, eyes burning red, dark aura rising. He growls one warning, brace yourselves. Yeah, they messed with the wrong brother. His sister, Karina, sitting in a wheelchair, eyes filled with emotion as she softly calls his name. But before anything heartfelt can happen, a gang leader, type dude, speaks up, all smug and mocking. He treats the situation like a game, then drops a cruel insult, mocking Karina's disability. Straight up dehumanizing. Soyoshi doesn't speak. He swings. One punch, powered by pure fury, sends the guy flying mid-air like a ragdoll. Instantly chaos erupts. Another thug rushes in barking threats, but Soyoshi takes care of him. The terrified leader dude draws a gun, yelling that no one survives crossing the blue snake team. He fires bullets flying towards Soyoshi. Karina screams. Soyoshi lifts his hand, catches the bullets, with his bare hand. Even Karina is frozen. Her brother just tanked bullets with his skin. A system note flashes again, strongest body part hands. Cannot be harmed by ordinary weapons. Soyoshi stares them down, calm but unstoppable. He's not just her brother anymore. He's a damn hero of our manhwa. And every thug in the room knows. They messed with the wrong man. As things calm down, a nurse bursts into the hospital room with guards, explaining how loan sharks had just stormed in and threatened a patient, Karina and her brother, Tsuyoshi. Meanwhile, the gang members, full grovel mode, faces smashed, egos shattered, and they're bowing like their lives depend on it. One mumbles an apology, promising to leave peacefully, but not without a final jab, warning that if payments are late again, their young boss, also a hero, won't be so civil next time. One of the thugs is visibly panicking. In his mind, Tsuyoshi being a hero now is a serious problem. If this continues, their entire scam could collapse. He's already thinking about reporting to the big guy, the blue snake boss, level 100, combat power 2300. Basically a monster. Compared to him, Tsushi's still just a trainee. Back in the room, Tsuyoshi finally gets a quiet moment with Karina. She's shaken but relieved. He apologizes for being so absent lately and then admits the hard truth. They still owe 360,000 yen for her treatment. He's been struggling to repay it, but now there's a chance. He's become a hero. Not fully certified yet, but close. All that's left is today's cave exam. Karina is stunned. She glances at the plaque beside her bed. Hero. Tsuyoshi Tsukishiro. You can see the pride in her eyes. But Tsuyoshi's not celebrating yet. Internally, he's wrestling with the harsh reality. Even as a hero, legit money comes slow. The one thing that might pay off the debt fast. Selling the very gear that helped him survive this long. Scene shift. It's night. In a forest, a glowing gate called the unannounced passage pulses with energy. Dozens of trainees gather as Gaia, a level 9 warrior with a 100 combat score, addresses them. He lays out the deal. This is their final test. But there's a catch: any gear found inside the dungeon must be handed over. No exceptions. Trainees whisper, annoyed. But Gaia doesn't care. It gets worse. After the test, everyone owes Gaia 20,000 yen as a fee for hero certification. Tsushi's done. Loot confiscation and a bribe. He calls it out, saying this whole thing reeks of exploitation. Gaia hears him and mocks him. If he can't afford it, he says he should just do a solo test. Everyone freezes. That's a death sentence. No one's ever passed one. But Tsuyoshi, he says yes. Gasps, louder shock, but he's already walking toward the gate, eyes fierce. A staff member rushes to double check. Solo test. Surely he misunderstood. They remind him, high-risk dungeon, no team, no rescue. No one makes it out. Tsuyoshi confirms, calm, unshaken. He enters the glowing passage alone. Inside, the vibe changes. The cave is ancient and wild. Twisted trees, black tendrils, and an eerie silence. A system notification appears. Solo test initiated. No help, no mercy. And for the first time, Tsuyoshi sees a dungeon that hasn't been cleared yet. Tsuyoshi barely has time to breathe before a dark goblin lunges at him. Claws out, snarling, and our guy doesn't even need to dodge. It's nothing. A stat screen flashes, still level 4, rocking the dark goblin set. Still no real weapon. Just his trusty raging tentacles skill. The goblin's combat value, only 40. Tsuyoshi smirks. Child's play. The goblin's fast, sure, but compared to his 60-40 combat value, it's toast. He crushes it effortlessly. Gain just 20. Kinda disappointing. He realizes real-world monsters give way less EXP than the system-generated ones. No wonder heroes level up slowly. The grind is brutal here. Then a pack of goblins surrounds him. Tsuyoshi doesn't flinch. Blood on his cheek. Energy rising, he welcomes the chaos. He tells them to come all at once. They charge, and yes, it's slaughtering time. Outside, exam staff watch the trembling forest in stunned silence. One mutters, no rookie should have made it this far, but the energy inside terrifying. System notification: solo test complete. Tsuyoshi Tsukishiro passe. He steps out, battered but calm, still level 4. Combat value 640, and casually asks where he can wash up. Gaia with the trainees finally came back. He was annoyed because no one would have survived without his help, and scoffed at 20,000 fee as too cheap, and trainees started complaining because he was the one who told them to not interfere. He believed that he should have charged them 40,000. Just then from the Hero Exam Center he gets the news that our guy has passed the solo test. Cut to Tsuyoshi, who's right now washing his face. Then Gaia storms in, demanding to know how this level 4 newbie passed the solo test. He's convinced he used high-grade gear, because clearly, rookies don't just pull that off. Tsuyoshi silently pokes holes in her logic and wonders if surviving the cave just to pay that dumb 20k fee was really a win. Tension ramps up. Gaia, boasting the name of the Frazee Wolf Guild, which Tsuyoshi mentally shrugs off, accuses Tsuyoshi of mocking him. He threatens him, and throws a punch, but he blocks it, cool as ice. Internally, Gaia was kinda shocked. Then he pulls out a dagger because he knew Tsuyoshi was hiding something. But it was no use. As the dagger touched his hand, it broke. Because he's wearing the Dark Goblin set, with max defense and some ultimate physique buff. Gaia instantly guesses he's hiding some high-level gear. No way he passed that test with bare fists. Realizing his cover slipping, Tsuyoshi fakes being tired and scared, acting like it was just some cheap dagger nonsense. Later, Tsuyoshi gets officially recognized as a hero. Outside the cave, Gaia planning to make sure he doesn't flash that hidden power around the staff again. As Tsuyoshi leaves, he reflects. His system makes him strong for a level 4. But big threats still exist. Yeah, it's Gaia. Later, at night, he starts remembering the beast girl and realizes in this world, she's different, and he's got to stay low-key. Outside Tsuyoshi's apartment, some shady figures prep for a raid. Their target, Tsuyoshi. They plan to immobilize him with magic and split whatever loot they find. The ambush kicks off. The mage barges in, casting flame melting. But before they could do anything, Tsuyoshi, in his dark goblin set, came out. The mage is caught off guard by Tsuyoshi's speed. Still, Tsuyoshi knows better. Levels matter, and he's 6 below his opponent. He compares the fight to a weak boss at a high level still dangerous. He considers running. His gear's strong, but it doesn't make him invincible. The mage arrogantly unleashes Flame Jet, banking on his cloak and stats to carry the win. The fire hits hard. Tsuyoshi's armor is useless against magic. With no time to hesitate, he boosts his legs with ultimate physique and jumps from the building. He was about to land, but got ambushed by a third attacker, a level 12 crazy wolf warrior. Tsuyoshi takes a brutal knee to the gut, but he'd re-enhanced his body midair, softening the blow. Still, the warrior is stunned he's not dead, and questions how a rookie pulled off that earlier skill. Pissed but determined, Tsuyoshi vows to kill them if they try to kill him. He uses Roar Tentacle, but the mage hits him with Action Restriction. 1.5 seconds of paralysis. That's enough. They attacked wanting to loot everything and split his gears. Tsuyoshi's cornered until a system notification appears. The Ring of Boundless is off cooldown. He activates Path of Boundless, escapes in a flash of light, and swears revenge. Back to another world, battered and wiser, he reflects flashy gear means nothing without skill. Power alone won't save him. He has to earn it. Then he spots the beast-eared girl, peacefully asleep in his bed. And here we got some lazy ass. Seeing her peacefully asleep and catching her familiar cherry blossom scent, Tsuyoshi feels something stir inside. For a moment he considers acting on it, but pulls back. Now's not the time. First, he needs to fix things in his original world. He calms himself. Morning comes. She wakes up refreshed. Meanwhile, he's been up all night, too restless to sleep. He asks her to sew him some new clothes. They're heading out. To learn new skills, they'll need either a skill scroll or to enroll in a combat academy. So they decide to go to the Beastman tribe's small combat academy. When they arrive, a massive beastman explains the strict entry conditions. Level 6 and passing a test. Tsuyoshi at level 4 gets waved off as too early. Annoyed, he grumbles about how annoying all this is. The beast girl apologizes, because she didn't know the conditions, especially after her long training in the cave. He reassures her it's fine. He needs to level up anyway. She suggests a low-level cave nearby, but then the beastman insults him, calling him a filthy human, and mocks the girl as a lowly mutt. He sneers that they make a mismatched pair and says Tsuyoshi only got this far thanks to the Beast King's interest. Oh, and even if he hits level 6, he still won't pass. The girl's face drops. That's the last straw. Furious, Tsuyoshi grabs the beastman by the collar, catching him completely off guard. When the beastman threatens him, Tsuyoshi doesn't back down. He demands an apology for the girl, but then the beastman hits him with a brutal truth: she's a half-beast, part human, part beastman. In their culture, that's disgraceful. So much so, she doesn't even have a name. A system message confirms it. Half-beasts are scorned, nameless, and treated like trash. That's why Tsuyoshi's divine eye never saw her name. She simply never had one. The beastman warns him not to get cocky, even with the Beast King's favor. Still, he throws out a challenge: if Tsuyoshi passes the test, he'll apologize, but doubts he'll ever make it. The girl begs him not to make a fuss for her. Tsuyoshi just looks at her softly and names her Sakura. Tsuyoshi firmly tells the beastman to remember her name, Sakura, and repeats the deal: if he passes the test, the guy better apologize properly. Then he turns to Sakura with a calm, "Let's go level up." As they walk, they spot a rare fox beastman. Tsuyoshi decides they'll train by fighting these creatures. Sakura, a bit shy, asks why he named her Sakura. He gets flustered, asking if she dislikes it. She quickly says she loves it and just wants to know the reason. Embarrassed, he explains it's because she always smells faintly of cherry blossoms. He even apologizes for naming her without asking. Sakura blushes, touched, and repeats how much she adores it while hugging him from behind. Her inner voice echoes, "Sakura, my name?" With a gentle smile, he says, "You're welcome." At the mouth of a rocky cave, he asks if she's ready and checks in on the dagger she gave him. Sakura says it's not top tier but way better than a goblin's club, and feels light compared to his heavy hammer. Then some fox beastmen appear. A system window warns not to underestimate them. Tsuyoshi tells Sakura to stay back. He wants the experience solo. Sakura's delighted he used her name. Party mode restriction comes: high-level gaps kill EXP, so solo fighting is the best move. He charges in, testing his new dagger, remembering to be careful with wide swings against agile foes. He quickly sees they're fast, but he's ready. He activates Ultimate Physique, boosting his resistance. The beastmen are shocked at how tough he is, thinking he's blessed by the iron hammer. Tsuyoshi stays confident. These low-level mobs won't slow him down. This is perfect for leveling. He reflects that speed trumps brute force with these enemies and that leveling is way faster in this world. No need to hoard resources. His updated status shows him still at level 4, but with 1,866,000 EX and the same combat power. He suddenly remembers that trio: a level 10 the mage, a level 9 warrior, and a level 12 warrior. Even with high stats, he knows that facing them now would be suicide. He decides he needs to hit level 6 fast and learn 4 new skills. With determination, he vows to make that arrogant beastman apologize. That woman is just for the show here. Tsuyoshi and Sakura went deeper in the cave when something catches his eye, a glowing sword. He wonders if it'll drop from the Dark Fox Beastman boss, a level 7 enemy. The sword looks perfect for him in size and power, but Sakura points out that drop rates depend on item rarity. A system message confirms that high-level items drop less often. The Black Cold Light sword only has a 6% drop rate, getting it before level 6. Tough luck. Then a surprise system alert appears. An exchange system unlocks. It allows him to trade achievements for special items. One available item, the high probability drop scroll, boosting drop rates by 30% for a minute. Condition: defeat 30 monsters. Tsuyoshi has already beaten 114. He realizes using all 3 scrolls means a 96% chance to snag the sword. Jackpot. Fired up, he tells Sakura he's going for it. She cheers him on, then preps him for the fight. The boss is fast, strong, and its sword can slow movement and drain stamina. But its weakness is fire. She recommends Flame Oil, which adds fire damage to weapons. Tsuyoshi accepts, ready to melt the icy fox. He charges in, shouting for the sword. Sakura, always reliable, calls out its weak spots, neck and armpits. He listens, lands a solid blow, and triggers a Cordis debuff. For 15 seconds, the enemy takes double damage and panics. He finds the status effect fascinating. Sakura reminds him cowardly foes expose more weaknesses and urges him to keep dodging and striking. He thanks her, ready to finish the job. As the battle nears its climax, Tsuyoshi keeps up the pressure, mentally admitting he'd be in trouble without Sakura's sharp guidance. Sakura excitedly calls out the next weak spot, the neck. He activates Physique, pushing 60% of his strength into his arms for a massive 200% power boost. His strike lands hard, triggering a debilitation. Status triple damage and 15 seconds of weakened defense. This ends now, he declares, unleashing his Heaven Shaker skill. Sakura is amazed but reminds him to stay alert till the very end. Just in time, Tsuyoshi remembers the high probability drop scrolls and uses all 3, pushing the sword's drop chance to 96%. The results flood in. Boss defeated, 3000 EXP gained, and the Black Cold Light sword acquired. He's hyped. First try and he gets it. The sword's cold effect will slow enemies, and he muses on pairing it with the Divine King's hammer later. For now, he's still level 4 combat power at 4600 and 436,000 EXP. He vows to hit level 6 tonight, for both their sakes. Sakura suggests using reset scrolls to respawn monsters faster. She's got several, though she offers a break. He's too fired up. Outside, he resets the cave and charges in again. By the 3rd reset, he's taunting the boss. By the 6th, even Sakura says it's starting to feel cruel. His combat power steadily climbs. He grins. That's the way. Finally, LVOP. He hits level 6 combat power, now 8,800, and likely owns a full Fox Beastman set. Confident, he declares he's ready for the Academy trial. He heads back, determined to make that arrogant Beastman eat his words. The Beastman mocks him again, thinking he couldn't possibly have leveled up. But Tsuyoshi shows up, fully geared level 6, and demands the examiner be summoned now, and reminds the Beastman to prepare that apology for Sakura. He's right now at level 6 warrior, Fox Beastman set, Black Cold Light sword, combat power 8,800. Later at the Beastman Combat Academy, where the level 20 Beastman supervisor is rudely woken up, grumbling about a human daring to take the trial. Tsuyoshi calmly says he qualifies and wants access to the skill vault, only available to those who pass the Academy's trials. The supervisor laughs it off until someone reveals that Tsuyoshi jumped from level 4 to 6 in under a day, leaving the Beastman visibly shaken. Tsuyoshi reminds him of their earlier bet. Pass the trial and Sakura gets an apology. The Beastman still doubts him but agrees. Then the Combat Academy priest commander appears and explains the first test, cracking a stone slab with a single punch. But it's no ordinary stone, it's Odor Stone, extremely tough, even for a level 20. The commander demonstrates just barely cracking it. Sakura cheers Tsuyoshi on. He channels his ultimate physique, focusing all his strength into his fist, and shatters the stone in one hit. The supervisor is left speechless, trying to deny what he just saw. A system message confirms Tsuyoshi's success. Panicking, the supervisor tries to move the goalpost next, the iron bar bending test. He demonstrates the challenge, but Tsuyoshi calmly activates his skill and bends the bar with ease. Flustered again, the Beastman switches to an arm wrestling test, claiming Tsuyoshi must last 10 seconds against their strongest warrior. Instead, Tsuyoshi defeats the Beastman champion instantly. The supervisor is crushed. With all 3 trials cleared, Tsuyoshi demands confirmation, and more importantly, the promised apology to Sakura. Cornered, the supervisor admits defeat and formally apologizes to Sakura. She's surprised, but Tsuyoshi tells her she deserves it, and she proudly accepts. At the skill vault, the supervisor tells Tsuyoshi he can only take 1 scroll per visit. Tsuyoshi thinks that's dumb. Once inside, a 3-minute timer starts. The rules: find a scroll, break its seal, or get kicked out. The seals are magic locked by top-tier mages, and Sakura adds that higher academies are even stricter. Tsuyoshi stares at the mountain of scrolls, tempted to rob the place. He realizes the seals block any preview of the scrolls, but feels he can brute force them open. He briefly considers using absolute duplication, but finds nothing worth copying and thinks it'd be weird if Sakura learned something awkward. So muscle it is. He browses quickly, skips Shield Slam, shrugs off Gale Step, and ditches War Cry. Sakura suggests a counterattack skill he keeps in mind. Time's running out, only 1 minute left. He decides to smash the seals open at once and check scrolls directly. He asks Sakura for potions and tells her to hide somewhere sturdy. He starts gathering power, and Sakura feels the intense pressure radiating off him. A system warning pops up. He's too low level to fully use the Divine King's hammer, and if he forces it, he'll burn a massive chunk of energy for just 1 second. His response: 1 second is all I need. Tsuyoshi unleashes a blast of purple lightning, terrifying the Beastman supervisor outside, who can't believe a human holds that kind of power. Even Sakura is stunned, saying she wouldn't have believed it if she hadn't seen it. A system message confirms it. He activated the Divine King's hammer for just 1 second. But that's all he needs. He slams the power into the vault, breaking every skill scroll seal at once. Sakura stares speechless as all the seals crack. Tsuyoshi, victorious, notes he still has 50 seconds left. But then, boom, his head gets flooded with data from the scrolls, leaving him in blinding pain. Sakura worries he might fry his brain, but Tsuyoshi fights through it, searching for the strongest skill. His eyes lock onto a lightning-charged scroll. He just knows. He tells Sakura exactly where to find it. She grabs it, then freezes. It's a fragmented scroll, incomplete, rare, dangerous. She thinks he's making a mistake and urges him to leave. He's like, just a bit more. With his strongest body skill, he rockets across the vault, breaking a few more seals before yelling, "I'm done," right as the timer hits 0. Afterwards, Sakura's still confused. He got a broken scroll. A system message reveals it's Thunder Chain Fall, a lightning spell that chains between enemies and paralyzes. But it's brutal. Only 3 out of 6 volumes exist. Everyone who's ever tried to learn it exploded. Literally. The Combat Academy priest commander shows up and can't believe this dangerous ancient relic was left collecting dust. He says it's Beastman history. Powerful, yes, but unusable. Tsuyoshi grins. Sounds perfect for me. He and Sakura head out. This fragment's just the beginning, he says. The commander warns it'll take insane strength and luck to survive it. When they were about to leave, he asks Sakura quietly if Tsuyoshi knows her identity and if she plans to sacrifice him too. But she tells him it's none of his business. Later, at the inn, Tsuyoshi grumbles about the awful taste of Sakura's healing potion. Though it works, he gently asks about her past, suspecting it was also meant for execution. She shuts it down, not wanting to talk. He moves on, asking if she checked any scrolls. He's already memorized Thunder Chain Fall, convinced it fits his strongest body style and eager to see its final form. As the sun rises, Sakura suggests they move forward. Tsuyoshi agrees, and activates his boundless ring to open a new path. With his new skill in hand, he's ready for payback. He recalls that trio who mocked him and swears, "I'll definitely kill them." As he was coming back, he realized his position, thinking he'll need a weapon for his new skill. With a thought, he pulls out the black freezing flash sword from his divine consciousness inventory, shocking his enemies. They're floored. Did he just summon a sword out of thin air? Must be some rare dimensional ring. Either way, they decide to kill him and split the loot. But Tsushi's calm. They started this, after all. As his power surges, his enemies finally realize he's not some rookie. He fires off Thunder Chain Fall, chaining lightning through them and paralyzing them. They panic. How's this brat using high-tier magic? Realizing they're outmatched, they try to flee or surrender. But it's too late. He's not handing out forgiveness. When they invoke the name, Crazy Wolf, that the guild they are from, Tsuyoshi flightly tells them to die quietly. One of them, the mage, desperate, throws an adhesive blast fruit, a rare pricey magic bomb. It explodes in a fiery mess. He laughs, claiming a level 10 like the hero couldn't possibly survive. But through the smoke, Tsuyoshi appears, burned, hurting, but alive. The mage is stunned. It's impossible. Thanks to his dark goblin set and peak physique, Tsuyoshi tanked it. Now, calmly and coldly, he decides it's time to finish them all. After wiping out the last of his enemies, Tsuyoshi reflects on how brutal the world is. Survival favors the strong, and admits he's still low level in the grand scheme. Then he spots something, a dimensional ring. Super rare and insanely useful. He's hyped. Infusing it with mana, he finds it unbound, brand new. Fate, he thinks, and great loot. Later, the hero's security forces arrived at the scene. Luckily, he's already vanished from the scene, traces wiped clean and valuables secured. Later, safe and sound, his new Gaia-made smartphone rings. It's Lily Sensei, his high school homeroom teacher. Crap, he forgot to submit his withdrawal notice. She gently scolds him, reminding him school could change his life, especially if he wants a better future for his sister. She even offers to help with tuition. He silently notes she still sees him as the poor, struggling student, not the rising hero he's become. But her words hit home. Maybe school wasn't the problem. It was the powerlessness he used to feel. Because money wasn't the only problem, he also used to get bullied. But now, he's not that kid anymore. He promises her he'll be back tomorrow. But trouble brews. The hero's force files a report on 3 deaths and a stolen dimensional ring, pinning it on an unknown hero. At the Crazy Wolf hideout, their leader, a terrifying level 21 warrior with 11,200 CP, is furious. He reveals the dimensional ring Tsuyoshi stole was marked with tracking magic. The thief, Tsuyoshi, however, had no clue. Snarling, the leader swears revenge and orders his men to hunt him down, because no one steals from Crazy Wolf and lives. The next morning, Tsuyoshi walks his little sister Karina to school. He gently checks on her new braces, and she assures him she's fine if they take it slow. She insisted on joining him, not wanting to feel like a burden now that he's going back to school. Tsuyoshi reflects on how hard school would be for her in a wheelchair and feels relieved he could afford the advanced braces, even if they cost a fortune. He bought them with the loot from those heroes he fought and is now totally broke, but seeing her happy smile makes it all worth it. He tells her not to overdo it, and also tells her that he'll be escorting her after school. Sweet sibling moment. Cut to the hallway, 2 girls are gossiping. One asks about the girl with canes, Karina. The other, Mina, coldly spills Karina's tragic backstory: attacked by darkness, lost her parents, and now disabled. Then she shows her true colors, sneering at Karina's pure act, and even suggesting poor people in the slums should just die. Her friend nervously asks if she plans to bully Karina again, but Mina shrugs it off. No one's ever stopped her before, so why would they now? She hints she's got a new toy to play with and sets off to meet her boyfriend. Meanwhile, Tsuyoshi is meeting with Lily Sensei and the vice headmaster. Lily smoothing things over for Tsuyoshi. The vice head scolds him for taking school lightly, but Lily steps in explaining his situation. She even reveals she's covered his tuition and will help with his credits. Tsuyoshi, moved, bows deeply and thanks them both with genuine gratitude. Meanwhile, the vice headmaster is too busy simping over her to care about Tsuyoshi at all. Lily promises to pay Karina's tuition too, calling them both strong kids. Tsuyoshi, touched, apologizes for worrying her and swears he'll pay her back. She waves it off, focus on exams. She's happy to see how much brighter he looks. Tsuyoshi wants to live up to her faith in him but keeps his hero status secret for now. With the crazy wolf situation still unresolved, caution is key. Lily reminds him to hurry, it's art class. In class 3-3 his old bullies, led by Rayleigh, immediately spot him. Rayleigh's shocked, he thought Tsuyoshi was long gone. Another suggests dragging him to the toilet again. Rayleigh mocks him for disrupting the protection fee system. Then he throws a paper ball at him, which Tsuyoshi effortlessly catches. Calmly, Tsuyoshi tells him, come to the toilet later. Rayleigh laughs, thinking Tsuyoshi's getting cocky. In the bathroom, they try to intimidate him, mocking his return as a cleaner and demanding money. But Tsuyoshi's eyes glow, and his vibe turns terrifying. He moves fast, too fast, and floors one of them instantly. The bullies are shocked. Tsuyoshi feels it. He's changed, stronger, not scared anymore. His divine eye activates. Their statuses, no class, no combat power. Not even a threat, brutal. Another gets kicked flying. Rayleigh watches horrified. This isn't the same guy they used to bully. Tsuyoshi held back anymore and they'd be dead. At the end Rayleigh had to run away, he had no choice. Meanwhile, Karina apologizes to her friend Haru, worried she's a burden. Haru reassures her. Then Mina shows up, in full villain mode, and hits Karina with a book. She tries to snatch Haru's notebook and threatens her. Then she turns on Karina, taunting her for missing school and demands compensation for the inconvenience. Karina stammers that she has no money. Mina smiles coldly and eyes Karina's braces, asking if those aren't sellable. Mina demanded to know about her leg braces. Karina, scared, tries to dodge the questions but eventually admits they're important. Her big brother worked hard to get them. Mina mocks her, making it clear she knows Karina can't walk without them. Just then, the bell rings and class starts. Before going to her seat, Mina says that it's already the 6th period and warns Karina not to go straight home. This isn't over. Karina, terrified, plans to escape through the back gate and silently prays for her brother to show up. After class, the teacher dismisses everyone with a reminder to get home safely. Tsuyoshi thanks her, but Lily-sensei pulls him aside to check in. She asks if he's adjusting and reminds him to report any bullying this time. Tsuyoshi assures her he's okay. She smiles, proud of his progress, and sends him on his way. Outside, Rayleigh and his lackey intercept Tsuyoshi, acting all friendly. Suspicious, he goes along but stays on guard. They lead him to a secluded spot where the lackey suddenly attacks, but Tsuyoshi destroys the baseball bat they attacked him with. The bullies are stunned. Tsuyoshi calls them out for their lame ambush. He knocks one down and warns them, if it weren't for Hero's law, they'd be dead. Realizing he's late, he bolts to find Karina. But before this, he puts everyone to deep sleep, not permanent sleep. Meanwhile, Karina nervously descends the stairs alone. She was actually trying to run quietly from the back door, only to be ambushed by Mina and her friend, who pushed her through the stairs. As Karina falls, Mina smugly tells Karina to take off her braces. Karina pleads, but Mina makes it clear she won't leave until they get them. At the front gate, Tsuyoshi finds Haru-chan and asks about Karina. Haru says Karina already left and was supposed to go home with her, but probably took the back gate instead. Tsuyoshi immediately heads that way. Tsuyoshi walks the halls, on the way to the back gate, haunted. Everyone else moves on like nothing happened, but he can't stop replaying the moment he asked Haru-chan about Karina. Haru-chan seemed terrified. As he arrived at the back gate, he saw it, his sister, visibly shaken, bruised. She puts on a smile after seeing him as if nothing happened, and complains that she actually fell off the stairs, but her trembling hands betray her. Tsuyoshi used his divine eyes, which showed her mental defense was dangerously low. Whatever happened hit more than just her body, and this made it clear that she was lying. She tries to convince him that she's fine, apologizing for being a burden who can't even walk. At first he didn't say anything, but then he softly tells her she's not a burden because they are family. He also kept pretending as if she fell. Later, he takes her home under the fading sky. Then memory hits. He always carried her like this. Then he promises that she won't have to go through the same thing twice. Saying this, he puts her down near a bench, informing her to rest on the bench for some time because he has something that should be taken care of. Meanwhile, in class 2-3, a group of bullies lounge around post-attack. They've just finished tormenting someone. Karina, Mina's friend, a blonde with a lollipop, complains they didn't manage to steal the stuff from her legs, clearly referring to Karina's braces, but she plans to grab them later and sell them for cash. Her boyfriend Billy from class 3-6 questions if that's even possible, but promises he'll get it done tomorrow. The blonde, however, wonders aloud if Karina's older brother, Tsuyoshi, might be trouble now that he's back. Mina laughs. She says Tsuyoshi was kicked out and works as a cleaner now. She mocks him as a garbage man, and cruelly jokes that the disabled and garbage man are family. Her disgust is clear. Karina used to be popular before her legs were broken, and now they both disgust her. But what they don't realize, Tsuyoshi isn't coming back for something he forgot. He's coming back for her. And he's not the same guy they know. Mina's always been jealous of Karina, back when she was cheerful and loved. Now, after everything they did, Karina's gone quiet. Billy casually mentions Karina still seems kind and cute, which only fuels Mina's envy. But their smug chatter comes to a dead halt. Tsuyoshi steps into the classroom, cold, and Billy barks at him, annoyed, until he realizes who it is, Karina's brother. He tries to play it off, calling their bullying a game, and introducing himself as Billy the Great. Tsuyoshi doesn't bite. His voice drops, dead serious, as he confirms they were the ones who pushed his disabled sister down the stairs. One of the bullies tries to mock him, calling him a garbage man. Tsuyoshi's had enough. When Billy confronts him, crack, he snaps Billy's finger backward. The scream is instant and raw. Everyone freezes. Tsuyoshi shuts the door with a slam. No one's getting out. This isn't just about one punk. They're all guilty. Now the real punishment is about to begin. Coldly, he calls them out for preying on the weak. Vivian the blonde tries to scare him by name, dropping her powerful dad. Mina backs her up, warning him not to mess with them. He doesn't care. In a blink, Tsuyoshi sends Vivian flying with a brutal slap. Billy watches in horror, Tsuyoshi speed is inhuman. Without hesitation, mine is next. Tsuyoshi makes it clear he doesn't consider them woman, so no mercy. Billy speaks up, but gets silenced with a swift kick. Grabbing Mina by the throat, Tsuyoshi tells her he knows she was the one behind the attack on Karina. He's very angry, and if she ever touches Karina again, he'll twist her head off. She nods in pure fear. Then he turns to Billy, picking up the ruler they used to bully Karina, explaining, if Billy were a real hero, he might have killed him. Billy snaps, revealing his dad is a level 10 hero and head of the Blue Snake Gang, the same loan sharks who went after Tsuyoshi family. That sets him off. Blue lightning crackles around him. Fate really knows how to pick his enemies. Billy realizes too late. Tsuyoshi is a hero too. A system alert tells Tsuyoshi his damage is nerfed without a weapon, so he cools it, and gives him a little shock as a punishment. Then he leaves silently. The bullies, shaken and furious, plot revenge. Mina, clutching her new neck scar, demands Billy call his dad. Billy swears they'll erase Tsuyoshi and Karina. Meanwhile, outside, Karina anxiously waits. She blames herself. Tsuyoshi returns, apologizes gently, and lifts her onto his back again. As they walk, he silently. He knows that Billy will bring trouble, spoiler he did, and so she won't risk Karina's safety. It's time to go back to the other world. Suddenly, we shift scenes. Tsuyoshi now rides a flying beast with Sakura over a city. She explains they've reached Northern, where he can register at the Adventurers Guild. A whole world of quests, gear, and leveling awaits. Tsuyoshi is determined he'll grow strong enough to protect Karina, no matter what. Below them, the majestic city of Beastmen Northern awaits. Later, inside the city of Beastmen Northern, he's wowed by the variety of beastmen, but Sakura reminds him, no fighting outside the arena. The city's a melting pot, thanks to the Adventurers Guild, but it's also tense. Trying to be friendly, Tsuyoshi says hello to a group of human adventurers and gets met with drawn weapons. Sakura quickly pulls him back, warning that adventurers, especially humans, don't trust strangers easily in a place like this. As they walk, beastmen stare and whisper. Sakura explains it's because she's a half-beastman, looked down on by the purists. Tsuyoshi brushes it off and tells her not to let it get to her. At the Adventurers Guild, the receptionist eyes their odd pairing but stays professional. Tsuyoshi signs up and gets an iron rank badge, the lowest tier. The receptionist explains the ranking system and mentions a feature that lets adventurers hide their level. Tsuyoshi tries it, masking his level 6 as level 0, impressing the receptionist with how fast he figured it out thanks to his system. Suddenly, a rowdy gang of goblin-like adventurers burst in, demanding a quest. They're offered a dangerous emergency mission, hunting carnivorous darkness monsters. It's a level 15th job, and after hearing that the last party got wrecked, the goblins back off fast. That's when Tsuyoshi casually steps up. We'll take it. The goblins laugh in his face. One gets aggressive, only held back by the no fighting inside rule. Tsuyoshi calmly activates his ultimate physique and suggests them to a duel in the arena. The receptionist also gently suggests the quest might be too much. Then Sakura steps forward and flips the whole room on its head. She flashes her gold badge, the highest adventurer rank. Silence. Everyone stares. The receptionist instantly changes tone, handing over the quest with full confidence. The goblins slink away, humiliated, while the guild starts whispering about this human who has a gold rank adventurer calling him master. As they head to the quest site, Sakura explains she joined young and worked her way up. So she praises her. She blushes. They arrive at a misty farm, the battlefield ahead. Tsuyoshi narrows his eyes. He can tell this fight's going to be serious. As they arrive, they saw lightning flashing as a swarm of gooey monsters, called Carnivorous Darkness LV Wintown, surround a big building. Tsuyoshi and Sakura watch from outside. Sakura is disgusted and explains these monsters aren't just any slime, they corrupt whatever they touch, turning things crazy and stronger, sometimes even dumb. Turns out, these beasts started out as regular slimes, which explains their mushy look. Tsuyoshi's pumped because he remembers they're weak to thunder attacks, and he's got a perfect skill, Thunder Chainfall, ready to wreck them. But Sakura yanks him back. She's done watching him rush solo fights and warns this place is no beginner zone. Facing one monster might be doable, but a whole swarm, that's a death trap. She wants to fight alongside him. He pauses, explaining he's desperate to get strong before a trial against the king of the beastmen in a year. So he asks Sakura how strong does he really need to be. Her face goes serious. She drops the truth bomb. Starting from where he is now, passing that trial in a year is basically impossible. Surviving the year alone would be a win, especially with something called the Divine Judgment of the Beastmen hanging over him. She breaks down the brutal level system. Max level is 100, and the Beastman King he'll face is level 92. A monster in every sense. The main guy struggles to square the friendly and seductive king he met with the terrifying power Sakura describes. Sakura's gloomy because of a brutal growth limit. The higher your level, the harder it is to level up. She's hit a wall at level 72 after 20 years as an adventurer. To even stand a chance at the Beastman King's trial, she figures Tsuyoshi needs to reach at least level 50, a milestone that normally takes a lifetime. He just smiles and reminds her he's not normal. Survived a divine judgment, lifted the Divine King's hammer, and has the divine selection system. He's basically the chosen one, not bound by usual limits. If level 50 is the target, he'll get there in a year, no doubt. Sakura's faith lights up. She truly believes he'll be legendary. With that settled, he asks his second question. Back to the fight. What level does he need to take on a level 10 warrior and a bunch of minions? Sakura says level 12 at least. He sets that as his short-term goal, level 12 in a week. Telling Sakura to back off this fight, he fires up his Divine Eye to check out the monsters. The system breaks down the Carnivorous Darkness weak to thunder, shrug off normal attacks, crazy fast recovery, but their real weak spot is a glowing slime core hidden under their tongue that pops up briefly when damaged. The plan's clear: hit that core with Thunder Chainfall. He charges in. Sakura warns about the corruption from a single touch. The monster lashes out, but he activates ultimate physique to tank the hit and get close. He pounds the beast, but it heals fast. Then it tries to swallow him whole. Calm as ever, Tsuyoshi powers up, grabs its jaws, and vows to rip its mouth apart. Sakura watches amazed, convinced this guy makes the impossible look easy. With a roar, he forces the mouth open, spots the glowing core, and smashes it with his ultimate thunder chainfall. Lightning crashes down, wiping out the monster. 30 minutes later, Tsuyoshi surrounded by goo puddles. He's wiped out most of the carnivorous darkness, but when he checks his status, still stuck at level 6. All that effort and only a few thousand EXP gained. Level 12 in a week. Not happening at this pace. Time for plan B. He asks Sakura for thunder ointment, stuff that can add thunder damage to weapons. The system chimes in with the explanation for us that thunder oil can temporarily imbue a weapon with the thunder attribute. Sakura confirms she brought 4 vials. He's impressed, until she sheepishly asks if he's got any cash. Turns out she spent all her savings buying those vials. So now they're broke. Like seriously broke. Each vial costs 30 silver coins and the reward for this whole quest, just 3 gold, after living expenses. So yeah, he feels guilty, realizing he's been too caught up chasing power to notice they were going full rags, to riches mode, minus the riches. He calls her a dependable wife for managing their finances like a champ and shifts focus to the final boss in the food warehouse. Just as they near the building, a group of some adventurers jump them, led by the angry farm owner. He thinks they're after some rare item called Cardiolus, and gets all territorial, claiming it's his party's quest. The group of adventurers, throwing shade at our clueless dude for not even knowing what they're fighting for. Sakura fills him in. Cardiolus is a rare boss drop that can open a portal to a dark area where EXP and loot rates are 10x higher. Oh, and it's worth over 100 gold coins. The main guy's eyes sparkle. This is the jackpot he needs to reach level 12 fast. They were about to fight, but to keep things fair, the farm owner proposes a contest. Whoever beats the boss first gets the loot. The party, all smug with their level 12 stats, insists on going first. Sakura starts to worry they've lost their shot, but steps up with a wild proposal. He'll fight the boss alone as a level 6. If he loses, they walk away empty-handed. If he wins, he gets the reward. The adventurers erupt in laughter. No way a level 6 solos a boss meant for at least level 18. They think it's hilarious and agree, ready to watch the poor guy get wrecked. Sakura protests, but he calmly asks her to trust him. His confidence wins her over, even if the other party is already cracking death jokes. Inside the warehouse, his whole vibe changes. He finds the boss a hulking level 14 carnivorous darkness monster. The onlookers go pale. This thing actually needs a level 23 to beat. They taunt Sakura, but she shuts them up fast. Knowing a drawn-out fight means death, he goes for a one-hit strategy. He ditches his sword and pulls out the Divine King's hammer. The system warns he can only use it for 1 second, and it'll nearly drain him dry. He doesn't care. He stacks everything: ultimate physique for power, Heaven Shaker to boost thunder chainfall, and finally, the Divine King's hammer for the kill shot. 1 second all in. Boom! Golden lightning obliterates the warehouse. The shockwave sends everyone flying. Sakura panics, screaming for him through the rubble, until a hand emerges, holding a glowing Cardiolis. He did it. A system message pops up. Massive EXP earned. Later on, Tsuyoshi and Sakura hit up the Adventurers Guild. The receptionist is shocked they cleared the quest so fast, especially since the original hired party totally flopped. Sakura humbly gives credit to her master. But the guild master isn't buying it. A level 6 rookie beating a level 14 boss? Yeah, right? She eyes Tsuyoshi, currently slumped on a couch, totally wiped from using the Divine King's hammer. Sakura explains he soloed the whole dungeon, but the receptionist stays skeptical until his weakness status finally wears off and he gets up, good as new. He asks about Cardiolus, super rare items, worth a fortune at auction, but he says nope, not selling it. He wants it purified. She tells them to head to the Shaman Guild for that, though they might get turned away because there's a big exam going on. Still, she offers to write a referral. While she's off doing that, Sakura breaks down what shamans actually are: elite non-combat classes, split into 6 ranks, who craft items that can even change your level cap. They're terrifyingly respected. Legend says one silver shaman got a level 80 warrior hunted down by dozens of adventurers. Tsuyoshi's super into this info. Once the receptionist returns with the letter, they head to the Shaman Guild, this huge, bustling place full of hopeful mages. But as they line up, a white shaman orc guard blocks them, saying only test takers can enter. Sakura politely hands him the referral, but he rudely slaps it away. Tsuyoshi's expression darkens. The guard just laughs and says they're not getting in until the exam's done. Just as things get heated, a powerful figure shows up. Doug, president of the Northern Shaman Association and a high-ranking blue shaman. The guard instantly flips to apology mode, blaming these rude people for trying to purify Cardiolis during exam day. But Tsuyoshi cuts through the drama and directly asks Doug why he's being blocked when he has a referral. Doug says he will purify the item, but not today. He's busy with the exam. Tsuyoshi pushes, saying he's in a rush to level up. Doug proposes a wild idea: if he's that desperate, take the shaman exam now, get the highest score, and Doug will personally handle the rest. Catch: he's a warrior, not even qualified. The crowd loses it laughing at him. Doug explains you need magician aptitude and crafting skills to even try. But Tsuyoshi, totally unfazed, he asks to borrow Doug's staff to prove he qualifies. The guard is outraged, but Doug, curious, agrees. Sakura's worried, but he just says, trust me. The guard hands over the staff with a sneer and immediately gets a button tap on his chest. Blushing, stunned, he stumbles back. Tsuyoshi casually explains his plan: use absolute duplication to copy the guard's magic, then channel it through the staff. He picks the Shining spell and warns Sakura to shut her eyes. He casts it. Golden light bursts out. Doug senses the insane magical output and throws up a shield to protect himself, just in time for the system to ask if Tsuyoshi wants to boost the spell with ultimate physique. He says yes. The spell goes nuclear, blasting through Doug's shield and blinding the entire area. When the light fades, the main guy stands tall. His class now reads magician. He turns to Doug asking, do I qualify now? Doug, stunned and impressed, can only say, you do. Later, in the packed exam hall, Tsuyoshi is getting death started by an area full of beastmen trying to become shamans. Clearly, this has never happened before. Tsuyoshi can feel the hate radiating from the crowd. Sakura tells him it's probably because they think he's being provocative by even showing up. Sakura explains that each race has its own specialty: humans with pharmacists, beastmen with shamans, elves with awakeners. And while it's not illegal to cross over, it's just not done. Everyone thinks he's trying to stir up trouble, even though he's just here to get his cardiolus purified. She reassures him he's not breaking any rules, so he has every right to be here. Meanwhile, Vice President Eel's pig is losing his mind, worried that letting a human take the exam will ruin the shaman faction's pride. He sneers at Tsuyoshi for not even having a proper staff, until the president calmly reveals he lent Tsuyoshi one. Secretly, though the president is intrigued, he felt real magical talent from Tsuyoshi, enough to compare him to a legendary shaman named Kevin. Pig scoffs, saying the kid wouldn't even be fit to carry the sandals of Kevin's disciple. Speaking of, the focus shifts to Fuline, a nightcat girl prodigy who's gunning for first place. She's confident, cold, and thinks most of the crowd are weaklings. When the exam starts, everyone's told to find their numbered spots. Sakura wishes Tsuyoshi luck and waits outside. He finds his 15 and realizes he's standing next to her. He introduces himself, thinking she's cute but icy compared to Sakura. Fuline just throws him shade, thinking he's an attention-seeking clown. He notes her sharp tongue might be her one flaw. Alchemy stations rise from the floor, and Tsuyoshi stares at the setup like it's from the Stone Age. Fuline mocks him for looking lost and tells him to scram. He grumbles to himself, this ancient gear is nothing compared to the tech back in his world. Then Vice President Pig silences the hall with a magic pulse and explains the test: make 3 basic energy potions in 1 hour. As it begins, Tsuyoshi watches the others, while the president explains the first step, choosing the correct 9 ingredients, is where most newbies already blow it. Tsuyoshi watches the exam unfold and is not impressed. Most contestants are fumbling through the basics. Meanwhile, Fuline moves like a pro, breezing through the ingredient selection. The system even announces her completion. Tsuyoshi's jaw drops a bit. Yeah, she's got skills, and it fires him up. Fuline stays laser-focused. Passing is the bare minimum her master Kevin expects. She crushes ingredients with expert precision, impressing even the vice president. Tsuyoshi silently admits she's incredible, even if she's a bit of a brat, and decides to copy her. He activates Divine Eye to analyze her moves, watching her flawlessly separate ingredients into vials with magic. Even the president's watching her like she's the next big thing. Refining starts, the real challenge of potion making. Everyone expects Fuline to crush it. She finishes early and smugly celebrates, but Tsuyoshi hasn't even started. She scoffs until she sees him staring. What are you looking at, pervert? She snaps. Ding. Analysis complete. He casually thanks her and mentally hits optimize. That's when all hell breaks loose. His system kicks in, and everything happens at once. Perfect ingredients chosen, crushed, and poured into vials with insane precision. Magic flares around him, and the system announces, powerful refinement in progress. Fuline is speechless. He just did in seconds what everyone else took ages to do. She realizes he was faking weakness the whole time. The vice president's eyes go wide. This technique is identical to what genius shaman Kevin once used. He starts to wonder, could this human be on Kevin's level? Sakura's anxiously thinking about how Tsuyoshi is doing in the exam. She's nervous he might struggle with potion making. Just then, a system alert hits. Process optimization complete. Tsuyoshi's crushing it with ingredient selection, powder refining and all that. It feels oddly natural to him, and he even admits potion making is kinda fun. A pop-up explains that the final, critical step, refining, is where a shaman's magic really counts. Strength and attributes influence the potion's power, and Tsuyoshi's up next. Meanwhile, a rival's fuming, shocked at how fast this worthless human is moving. Whispers start as he copying Master Kevin's famous, swift completion, technique. Kevin once made a C-grade potion during his exam, which even the judges found impressive. A quick rundown of potion grades follows ODS, with C grade already being high level stuff, B grade and up, literal supernatural effects. Tsuyoshi sees a system notice basic energy potion, O grade, and wonders if that's just beginner level. It should be enough to pass, but it feels basic compared to the tech in his old world. Fired up, he sets a new goal. Aim for at least a C grade to crush the smug girl next to him, whatever that even means. Realizing potion grade depends on magic power and type, he figures he can tweak it by adjusting his magical output. He plans to boost it using ultimate physique to raise his magic capacity, and currently sitting at 150. Onlookers watch him hesitate and grow nervous. He looks shaky. They assume he's already out of gas. His rival, Gloating Heart, thinking he's about to flop. Someone tries to distract Tsuyoshi mid-refinement, warning his magic won't last much longer. Fuline, however, snaps at them for not knowing basic shaman etiquette. Don't interrupt during refinement. Meanwhile, Tsuyoshi realizes his magic has no attribute. He needs one fast. He remembers the lightning element from using the Divine King's hammer and decides to channel that power. Observers sense his unstable magic and expect to fail. But Tsuyoshi summons the hammer, his magic explodes and boom, lightning attribute acquired. He gets a 6-second window, just enough to finish. With ultimate physique boosting his magic capacity to 3,500, he completes the final step, solidification. Exhausted but hopeful, he wonders if it's enough to beat Fuline. The crowd's surprised he pulled it off, especially after sensing a new elemental wave. An announcement ends the exam, and the potion evaluations begin. First up, a weak watery potion, barely a D grade, but still passes, its creators thrilled. Next, a cloudy, burnt-smelling mess. It's a fail with a bonus warning, drinking it gives a debuff. Then it's Fuline's turn. Vice President Piggy casually asks about her master Kevin. She says he's doing fine. Her potion, overflowing with scent and quality. Pure, strong, and elegant, it's a solid C grade. The crowd is stunned. She's praised as Kevin's prodigy and practically guaranteed first place. Now it's Tsuyoshi's turn. When asked how he did, he played it safe. I did my best, maybe a D grade. He's not sure. When tested it wasn't a D grade. As they tested, the lightning strike started, and that was a supernatural phenomenon. And at least it's a B grade potion. Onlookers were shocked they were wrong about Tsuyoshi. They now believed that he might be more capable than genius Kevin. And by the way, Tsuyoshi came in first. Back at the association entrance, Sakura was restless and worried, but when Tsuyoshi came back and told her that he was first she was very happy. Later outside, the president was really surprised that Tsuyoshi just wanted to purify the Cardiolus, even though he's this great. And after knowing that he didn't learn this all from someone else they felt ashamed. They now just had to fulfill his wish. On the other side, Fulin was devastated, apologizing to her master, Kevin, because she lost to a disgusting being. And hearing the name Kevin, Sakura's demeanor quickly changed. It was like a killing intent, but went back to normal when Tsuyoshi called for her. Now they are heading to the ritual room to purify his Cardiolus. Later, in a moody ritual room, the president was about to start the intense purification ritual. He calls on the elemental guardians, earth, flames, water, and wind, to cleanse a corrupted purple crystal, Cardiolus. Watching are Tsuyoshi and the Vice President Piggy. The Vice President Piggy tells him he's lucky. This top-tier shaman's doing the purification personally. Tsuyoshi, wide-eyed, realizes just how serious and time-consuming shaman spells really are. Once the chant ends, the president tells Soshi to infuse his own magic into the Cardiolus to bind it to himself. The chairman explains that Cardiolus comes in low, medium, and high grades, and even low-grade ones are dangerous in the dark area. Tsuyoshi's pumped. It's a medium grade, so the EXP payoff will be massive. The president gives him a standard warning: don't go in alone, take a full squad. Tank, warriors, mages, pharmacists, the works. Tsuyoshi, he casually says he's going solo. Why? Because he doesn't want to split the EXP. Both the president and vice president are floored. As the portal opens, the rules are laid out. Tsuyoshi gets 3 chances before the Cardiolus crumbles. Once inside, he can't leave until time's up, or the monsters are dead, unless he dies, in which case the system will just yeet his corpse out. Sakura hands him a ton of potions she prepared, and he thanks her with a rare soft moment. The president asks how he'll fight without the staff he returned. Tsuyoshi just grins and says, I'm a warrior, I don't need it. As he says this, he steps into the dark forest. Both the president and vice president can't wrap their heads around why someone with that much magical talent insists on being a warrior. Inside, Tsuyoshi gets swarmed by level 8 dark wolves. He amps up his strength with ultimate physique, and fires off Thunder Chain, paralyzing a bunch of them and netting 500 EXP per kill. Not bad. At this rate, he figures 3 rounds could get him 2 levels. But these wolves aren't dumb. They've got high resistance and teamwork. One even uses another as a meat shield to set up a sneak attack. Tsuyoshi powers up again, takes them down, but it's clear these aren't just mindless mobs. Meanwhile, outside, Sakura's worried but stands by her faith in him. President Doug is still skeptical, thinking Tsuyoshi's just another cocky rookie destined to crash and burn. Back in the dungeon, Tsuyoshi's stamina and willpower hit 50%. He chugs one of Sakura's nasty, tasting potions, powers through, and keeps going. The thunderous sound of his attacks reaches the others outside, giving Sakura and even Doug some relief. He's still standing. After wiping out the last wolf wave, Tsuyoshi's EXP hits 12,400 out of 15,000. Beat up but fired up, he stands before the final boss door and makes the smart move. Rest now, wreck later. After choking down one of Sakura's potions, Tsuyoshi commented how it tastes awful, but way more effective than the easy capsules from his old world. A system alert confirms he's fully recovered, so he pushes through the giant doors. Boss time. Inside was a hulking shadow beast, the dark area's boss. Same level as the carnivorous darkness, but this one radiates serious menace. Tsuyoshi powers up with ultimate physique, boosting his strength by 60% with both hands, but the boss moves fast. Way faster than expected. He suddenly starts trembling, literally. The boss hit him with Tremble Slow, a nasty debuff that paralyzes with fear. Just as it closes in for the kill, the status fades, thanks to a mysterious surge from his Ring of the Infinite. Tsuyoshi regains control. The boss is shocked. A human broke its mental lock that quickly. Impressive. Even more shocking, it talks, claiming to be a higher existence, not some dumb monster. Tsuyoshi curses not having his old dark goblin set, which had a skill perfect for this fight. Then the boss launches a bloody attack, blinding him and slapping on a bleeding debuff. No healing item can fix it. He's on a timer now. With no choice but to end it fast, he fires off Thunder Chain Fall and completely whiffs. The boss just stands there unfazed and casually mentions it doesn't even need a sacrifice, which only confuses Tsuyoshi more. But then, a game changer. The boss traps him in a mental bind. Bad move. It got too close. Tsuyoshi triggers absolute duplication and nabs the boss only skill sacrifice. A system alert explains sacrifice is a high-risk, high-reward move that boosts all stats at a painful cost. Tsuyoshi's eyes light up. Time to turn this monster into mincemeat with his bare hands. He now turned in a complete different person. The boss is stunned. How's this human using a darkness exclusive skill? Tsuyoshi shrugs it off like it's nothing. A system window explains it's thanks to his chosen one trait, letting him copy any skill, no matter the race or level, though power still depends on his combat strength. And with 8,800 at level 6, he's no joke. The boss notes Tsuyoshi's weapon is barely holding together, and sacrifice can't be controlled for long without gear. A system window drop explains most weapons can break unless they're special. But Tsuyoshi doesn't care. He just needs one shot. Sacrifice blocks HP regen, so once it's active, it's all or nothing. Blood price included. The boss boasts he can use Sacrifice too, saying that the Tsuyoshi version is just a copy. Sacrifice sacrifices half your blood for 60 seconds of beast mode. Flashback: the boss had dodged Tsuyoshi's Raiden earlier, but now realizes it wasn't just brute force. Tsuyoshi made him drop his weapon on purpose, tricking him into sacrificing blood. With ultimate physique as his weapon, Tsuyoshi challenges the now weaponless boss to survive Raiden. Spoiler: the boss doesn't. Tsuyoshi slays the level 14 beast, clears the dark area, but pays the price. Sacrifice ultimate physique leaves him hurting like his organs are shredded. Luckily, the boss drops looted. The bloody miss saw a brutal weapon that causes unhealable bleeding and has a skill called Bloody Attack. Tsuyoshi hits level 7 with 10,000 CP, and when given the option to leave or challenge again, he resets for that sweet 50% EXP bonus. He considers resting, but with his goal to reach level 12 in a week, he pushes on. Outside, Sakura's worried. Thunder rumbles from inside, but Piggy mocks Tsuyoshi, saying he's probably hiding or dead. Sakura shuts them down with pure bloodlust. The president then warns everyone to shut it until Tsuyoshi walks out. However, the president was just impressed from Sakura's bloodlust. Her strength as a half-beast girl is no joke. Suddenly, the thunder stops. Pig's about to gloat until a new, powerful boom shakes the area. Some think darkness itself has broken loose. They thought darkness, the boss, was coming out. But then, Tsuyoshi appears. He's now level 9 with 14,500 CP, bloody saw in hand, wearing his new Fox Beastman set. He leveled up twice in 3 minutes. Sakura rushes to him in relief. The others are shocked but scramble to assist. Later, Tsuyoshi thanked everyone for healing him. He admits he feels way better now, apologizes for worrying them, and promises to be more careful, though he just had to go for that EXP bonus. After all, he hit level 9 and got amazing loot, so totally worth it, right? Sakura, however, scolds him, reminding him that his safety matters more than EXP. President asks if he really challenged the dark area 3 times solo. They're stunned. They wouldn't have believed it if they hadn't seen it themselves. They even mention that the evil aura he gave off was more intense than darkness itself, almost like the seal was breaking. They're starting to wonder if this guy might actually surpass geniuses like Kevin. After doubting him before, they apologize. Tsuyoshi just brushes it off, saying he's been treated already. They note that the reflex skill used on him is mid-tier healing, great for surface wounds, but his deeper injuries like internal bleeding and nerve damage are still serious. He's warned not to use skills like sacrifice again, or it could mess with his leveling potential. That gets to him. Tsuyoshi realizes sacrifice might be messing with his mind, pushing him to crave bloodshed and lose himself. Sakura notices something's off, but he just says he's tired. Deep down, he knows that between sacrifice, darkness, and his cheat skill, both his body and mind are being shredded. He decides he probably shouldn't use them anymore. Then the topic shifts when President Dong gives Tsuyoshi a certain medicine, which might be too much. It turns out it's Kevin's personal favorite, meant to be taken daily with meditation. He suggests visiting Kevin in person. If Tsuyoshi really has talent, Kevin might take him as a disciple and teach him next-level medical skills. Kevin's no ordinary healer. He's one of the few who's mastered the legendary Law of Ruin. Tsuyoshi is confused. Law of what now? They explain the laws are massive magical forces that control heaven and earth. Forbidden, unstable, insanely powerful. There are 12 in total, violent, unpredictable, and some are even sentient. They're hidden in unexplored lands, only obtainable through proper training. The monument of the laws of ruin is where they're recorded, and the oldest ones. Capable of ending worlds. Kevin's called a genius for mastering the 12th law, the law of the great winds, a decade ago. It massively boosted his magic and refining skills. There's hope he might even be able to heal Tsuyoshi's deep internal damage. Sakura's stunned. She didn't think his injuries were fixable. But now's not the best time to visit Kevin. But the president suggests bringing this letter of intro and some rare goods to trade. As they leave, President Doug, clearly impressed, reveals he gave Tsuyoshi a rare B-grade forbidden blood potion, something he got from Kevin after trading valuable ingredients. Doug sees Tsuyoshi as a gamble worth betting on. Others aren't so sure. Souling the dark area isn't unheard of in history, but it's incredibly rare, especially for a human. The last big name, Garrick's the ancient god king from 1,000 years ago. On the way, Tsuyoshi asks Sakura if she knows where Kevin is. She does, but says it's far. Still, they can level up along the way. She points out a closer route that overlaps with their quest objectives, but there's a catch. They'll need to join a party. They arrive at a quest point, basically a hotspot where limited time, limited player quests spawn with bonus rewards. Tsuyoshi is excited to test his strength. Sakura warns him not to get reckless. She's watching. Nearby, a strong party is recruiting a level 15 warrior or tank with at least 6,000 combat power for a dangerous level 12 quest that drops the ultra-rare blood rose worth 500 silver. They've been waiting 2 days with no luck. Too few meet the high requirements, and their captain refuses to lower the bar. Just before the quest closes, Tsuyoshi steps up, confident he can be their vanguard. The group is thrilled, until he says he's level 9. Shock, disbelief, panic. But with 10 minutes left, the captain reluctantly accepts, telling him not to get cocky and just follow orders. Tsuyoshi agrees and they dive in. Inside, they found out it was a level 16 quest. Yeah, they are fucked. First, they face a forest rhino, a rare mutant beast that emits fog and drops valuable loot. But they ain't facing shit, just hiding. The leader believes it'll be very hard to complete the quest, so they'll try to kill the forest rhino. If they couldn't, they'll just run with the help of return horn. A return horn is a very expensive item which helps people to leave the question by blowing it. But just when they were making all this plan, they suddenly noticed that Tsuyoshi has no way to be found. He was already fighting them by using the thunder chain fall. He killed them in an instant, shocking everyone. He even told him to keep up with him because he have gotten used to speed run lately.